Can you hear me?
Kelly, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Mike.
Okay, good morning, everyone. According to the clock in Commissioner Snell's background, it's 9 a.m. We call the meeting to order. Proof of posting, please.
The agenda was posted on Thursday, July 23rd, 2020 at 4:30 p.m.
Okay, thank you. We'll have a pause momentarily for a moment of silence. I do want to be very thankful to the Lord for having Captain Sean Nixon back home after a month of dealing with the COVID-19 situation. He's still got a long road to hoe, but I pray that he has a fast and full recovery. So at this time, let's have a moment of silence, and then we'll have a pledge to the flag. Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Pledge to the Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Thank you. Just one item I want to bring up. I want to do it early in the meeting that hopefully the news media will pick it up. That the court gave me the authority to put the burn ban on last week. We had of course, rainstorms coming in, and we wanted to wait and see what happened over the weekend. There were a few showers around, but they're very scattered, and it appears that we're going to get back into the normal summertime here quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and sign that order today. And any of the media that is watching, please put that out as for public information. It'd be very helpful. And then I would like to ask our emergency management area to contact their volunteer fire departments to let them know. All right, thank you. All right, I'd like to go down to under items E. Elizabeth, are you on? Or is your department available? Okay.
Yes, Judge Felton, I'm here. Sorry.
Okay, that's right. I want to go ahead and, if you don't mind, update the court on COVID-19 activities and what your department's doing, as well as and including but not limited to the testing that's going on in public right now.
Yes, of course. As of yesterday, we had 56 cases of COVID-19 as of 4 o'clock on July 27th. The total number of cases to date is 4,042. There are 1,889 estimated active cases, 2,117 estimated recovered cases. We have 36 deaths. There are 76 cases that are hospitalized right now. Of those 76, 64 are McLennan County residents and 12 cases are on ventilators. So those are the numbers for the yesterday at 4 o'clock. As of yesterday, we did start our walk-up testing at University Baptist Church off of Dutton, and at the Waco Multipurpose Facility at UBC, we tested 207 people. And at the Waco Multipurpose Facility, they tested 226. Those results are going to be available between 72 to 96 hours. And the most important thing that we're really trying to push out is that this is not the nasal pharyngeal testing. It is actually a cheek swab testing. So it's not as invasive. It's a little more comfortable and easier to handle for anybody who is wanting to get COVID-19 tested. please feel free to stop by any of those sites. We can test up to 600 people a day at both University Baptist Church and the Waco Multipurpose Facility.
Okay, are there any questions for Elizabeth from the commissioners? Also, I'd remind the commissioners that Elizabeth's available to take your call if you have questions pertaining to this or any other emergency that's going on. She also works closely with the Public Health District, and so if there's questions that you have, you don't feel like you can get through to someone, we'll give her a call. Elizabeth, I hope you don't mind if I say that.
Of course, I'm happy to help out anybody who needs anything. If I don't have the answer, I'll find it as quickly as I can.
Right, she's very responsive, and I appreciate that very much. Okay.
Judge Felton,
Yes.
I don't have a question for Elizabeth, but I did want the court to know, I just wanted to thank you, Elizabeth, for putting together those testing sites, the walk-ups, and also the drive-throughs. She was very helpful, and she worked diligently and was very user-friendly with all of those entities. So I just want to thank you for that.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate that. And actually, just a reminder, we do actually have a drive-through testing at Tolliver Church this Thursday on July 30th. So if anybody's not able to make it to the walk-up testing sites, we are doing a drive-through testing site this Thursday as well.
Okay, thank you.
Of course.
All right. Let's go to under item D, under budgets, budget amendments. Under D1 regarding the FY21 budget. Francis?
Yes, sir. So the way we sit right now, we have a proposed budget, and we are ready to file that as soon as we get it printed, and as soon as we get direction from you that you're good with it. So the proposed budget includes all decisions you've made up to this point. It includes the 12 new positions. It includes the 1% COLA, just like I said, all the decisions that we've made along the way. So as of late yesterday and then this morning, we have certified values that were used to calculate the final tax rates that we will be looking at. And so this is on the budget drive, if it's easier for you to look at that way. The first tab is the tax info tab. So this has been updated. That first line, the certified values, there's that 18.2 billion. And then underneath that, the second green section, the total tax rate, that's going to give you your, it says preliminary, I'm sorry, I should have taken that out, but that's your no new revenue rate, the 0.481719. There's your current rate, and then there's your voter approval rate. And so we know what our debt rate will be. You'll see the INS rate that is been calculated at 0.023827. And it ended up being right under what it was for the current year. Again, just some scenarios there that we can think about. And then if you click over, the third tab is the main summary tab. So then this is going to walk you forward from our estimated beginning fund balance for next year to where we think we'll end. As we work through this process this past week, we've made some adjustments to projections and estimates. So your estimated beginning fund balance is different from the last time we met. But you'll see there that expenditure line item, that's all inclusive, like I said, of everything up to this point. So that top yellow box, the total tax rate, that number right there is our current final no new revenue rate less 1.3 cents. So I just left that in there. That's where we left it the last meeting. And we were getting to our 33% fund balance goal by reducing the no new revenue rate by the 1.3 cents. So you'll see now with adjustments that are made and with all of our final calculations, we're coming now to that 33.5%, right over 40 million as our ending fund balance. That's just, if there's any other discussion you want to have on any budget items, we can revisit anything. We should be good to go based on the direction you've given us. But if you have any other thoughts, let us know. And then what's left is just to discuss that tax rate and where you want that to end up, where we want to propose. one thing to remember is you propose a tax rate. You can't increase that from this period going forward. You can always decrease it, but can't increase it. Also, if you stick with the no new revenue rate or below, you'll bank that 3.5%. So next year, your voter approval rate will be based on a 7% variable instead of the 3.5%.
Okay.
So,
Any questions anyone would have?
I had a quick question on what we're, did no one call in for public comments? Or are we going to do those after this?
Two did, and then they both declined. They called back and said they would like to do that at a later time.
Okay.
So they were not financial, I guess. They were more pertaining to the health authority's order. And I've got those people's contact information as well.
Okay. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
And I've also had a number of calls for people on the public health order. I was wondering if we maybe could get something on the agenda for that, or give them somebody to talk to at least.
Okay. Well, our next meeting is August the 4th. And so we will look at, how we'd put that in there. But yes, we can do that.
Dustin, did we ever post those frequently asked questions or something to that effect?
They haven't been posted on the website yet, Mike. It's been kind of direction that we've been given to callers that are calling though, but we can get them posted.
Yeah, we
It
need to have
It
some-
essentially explains what a local health authority is, that sort of stuff. So it goes through the process.
Okay.
Well, I mean, if we're talking about the budget, then, we fund their budget. So I think it's germane to the, to this meeting. If Francis wanted to go and look at that department and tell us how much we do fund to that, fund to that.
You're talking about the public health.
Yes.
we'll pull that up. It's in Department 4310.
It's based on population.
That's correct.
Yeah.
There's a contract we have, and that was increasing a quarter per person each year for 5 years.
Yeah.
25 cents.
It's going up by 25%. There was an analysis done several years ago, and that showed the increases in costs that actually it was not shared by all. And so the board met and talked about they didn't want to get it there all in 1 year. And so they came up with this plan to increase that funding till it end up where it's all equitable to population. And so that was the way I recall it.
That's correct, Judge.
And so currently, the amount budgeted, it's on line 27, that McLennan County Public Health District. That's $1.75 times the population.
Which is total $430,010.
Correct.
Okay. And, this is a preliminary adoption, of course, today. And so there can be changes made before the final adoption of the.
Definitely.
So-
So we'll file the proposed, and then it'll be available for citizens to view,
Right.
speak on if they like. But yes, you can make any changes up until the date we adopt in August.
Right.
Francis, is that number $1.75, is that accelerating the 25 cents per year, or is that,
That's based on the schedule that was agreed
Okay.
to per the contract.
okay.
And the health district board, which we have representatives on, approved it preliminarily, and then it came to the commissioner's court. It's been several years ago, though. It's 2 or 3 years ago. Ben, Commissioner Perry, do you recall you were, I think, part of that discussion?
When the contract was agreed to?
Yeah.
That was about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Call
Yeah.
correctly.
I had it, I didn't bring it with me today, but.
Well, we'll have all that available. Any information you want on that.
I just interject one thing is that our population number is based on the citizens that live in the unincorporated areas. So
Right.
our population number is based on those that live in the unincorporated areas.
Yeah, one of the issues that some of the cities had is that we were using zip codes, and some of those zip codes are outside, actually, their city limits. But just a point of discussion. But I know McGregor. If you take the zip codes that come into McGregor, it covers a pretty big area outside of the actual city. So I think they've been paying probably over their share. But
And just based on what Commissioner Miller just said, that number is based on every person in the county. So it's based on a 245,720 number, which was the population estimate.
right, for the whole.
Yes, for the whole county.
Yeah.
So then
So what was that
They're
population?
all county citizens.
well, everybody's counted twice.
If other cities are also putting in funds, yes.
What was that amount?
It would appear that if you live in an incorporated area, you get paid for twice.
Right.
That municipality plus the county. You live in an
But what's
unincorporated.
What's the population number they use?
245,720. 245,720.
Justin, can you find that or that
I'm
contract?
looking for it right. I'm looking for it right now, Judge, and I will. We presented it back a few court sessions ago, and I think it was adopted in 2018. But I'm searching for it right now.
And the concept is that people inside the cities are also county residents. So that's it's not like we're responsible for public health with regard to our citizens, which include those in incorporated areas.
And I believe we actually pay a lower amount per capita for that
Right.
reason.
You're right.
And while this is a worthy discussion, I think the more prevalent discussion right now is what Commissioner Snell's referring to is the confusion that's been left out there with regards to the actions taken. I think that's probably more in question right now than our funding.
Agree.
Yeah, I mean, that's, people aren't getting the answers that they want, not clear answers. They want a criteria of why they're closing the schools, what testing is, the numbers behind that. And I think it'd be worth us having a special court meeting, next week or as soon as we can have it and have them so we can get that out to the public and figure out what's going on, because having a non-elected official be able to override what the superintendents and the school boards are elected by the people for those districts. I feel like they need to make the decision, not somebody that's not elected.
I agree. I was just trying to keep the discussion within the parameters of today's meeting.
Certainly understand that, and I'll withhold comment.
Okay.
The proposed funding schedule that we did starting from 2018, the 2018-2019 year, through 2022 and 2023, what the agreement cites is that member cities increased 30 cents per year with their current funding at $1.50, and the county's funding increased 25 cents per year with our current funding at $1. And so we currently pay, our current contract is what she has on the screen at $368,580, and we've already placed in the preliminary budget the $430,010, but it's based on an agreement that we went into in the 2018 year, and we paid 5 cents less than the cities per person.
And I agree with Commissioner Snell. I think at least by Tuesday, at least on Tuesdays, next Tuesday's agenda, we need to have a. I'd like to request an item that the health authority at least address the court about the decision.
I agree. I think Dr. Werner can come to court. I think we need to understand, though, the legal parameters in which he works, and I'm glad Mike's on the call. But the local health authority answers to the director of the Public Health District Board, and the director of the Public Health District Board is answerable to the city manager, City of Waco city manager. And now, according to what I understand, the local health authority and the Waco McLennan County Public Health District has supervisory authority and control over the administration of communicable disease control measures within its jurisdiction. So their authority is purely from a public health standpoint. And I know there are all other factors that go into why schools want to open, sports, etc. But I'm glad we're going to extend an invitation to Dr. Werner, but we have to understand that he's purely coming from the health perspective. And I do know that they took in consideration several data points when he made his decision. I'll let him explain that further when he comes, if he comes, or whoever shows up for him. But we've only done that 2 times prior to this time. He's only issued an order. My understanding, this is the 3rd order he's ever done. And I know they took in case count. They took in the consideration, the positivity rate, and they took in account hospital capacity. And the figures that I saw among school-age children, it made me pause. And so, like I said, it'll be interesting for him to come. But what I don't want to find myself doing is second guessing a health authority who's purely looking at it from the health standpoint. Because when he looks at it, he looks at for the total community and not just one segment or one factor of one entity.
Well, I'll tell you what, I understand that. And I'm going to go ahead and read something in the record quickly that I've received. COVID is serious. There's no doubt about it. Nobody wants it. I hate what it's doing in our society. I hate what it's doing to our society. But we need to start taking into consideration and advocating for, and I'm going to share a letter from Natalie Jones, who is a licensed professional counselor with Waco.
Guys, I'm going to have to
Yeah, I
call
don't think
Mr.
that's
Bexley. We're discussing budget and we're getting way outside of budget. If you want to set an agenda item for the next meeting to discuss all this, great, but we're getting out of the realm.
Then we'll be prepared for the next meeting.
Okay,
Can we set a special meeting for later in the week, maybe?
for this week,
Mm-hmm.
we have 72 hours, so it'd be Friday, wouldn't it, before you can meet?
Is it not COVID related though?
If it's not COVID related?
We could use COVID. We could use that to cut down, but we'd want to do it as soon as possible, just to give everybody time. First thing is contacting the doctor and trying to get on his schedule.
So the answer to the question is yes, we can do it under the COVID-19 emergency order. And so we would need to decide who to invite and see if they can be here.
Right.
Okay.
I'm available all week.
Okay. I've got probate court in the morning, but other than that, I think I can work around any of the rest of the schedules I have. All right. Well, if y'all would send me what you'd like to hear, so I can make sure my office can put all that together, and then we'll send you right back when we can schedule a time to do that.
And will there be a public comment available?
I think you can I would think you could.
Well, the deal is, if people want to do public comments, that's one thing, but they're not going to be able to ask questions of Dr.
Well,
Varner, but
that's always the rule that we've always been under. I mean, that's right. I mean, we can't respond.
And there may be some, Judge, there may be a couple of other things on COVID that we need to put on there. But I'll get with you on that later.
I think we all know the questions to ask. We just need people to be able to comment and make their voices heard.
Okay. Okay, going back to the budget, unless someone has something else in that regard. Going back to the budget items, so the office has put in, if you'll go back to that slide that has where we have the tax rate and those things. So what we need to do is adopt a proposed tax rate, and which would include the INS, or interest and sinking rate, as far as and maintenance and operations, and then further broke down to the permanent improvement fund.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the
So
general
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
So I think then our discussion just goes to what do we want that total rate to be? And then I'll have that breakdown for you of what each piece of that rate will be. Like I said, that number was just that's the final no new revenue rate minus 1.3 cents. Originally that got us down to 33%. This currently, the way this stands, brings us to 33.5%. So I don't know if there's any thoughts on that. If you wanted to.
Francis.
Yes, sir.
How much room does that leave for any changes that may take place without it increasing the tax rate?
So we can't, whatever rate you propose today, you can't increase the rate from this point until you adopt.
I understand that, but how much dollar room do we have? How much contingency do we have in there where if there's other things that come up where it's not going to increase the tax rate?
Yes. So, the way that we've gone through this process, we've come up with an ending fund balance of that 40 million. So in the month of August, if you take something out, that's just going to affect that ending number. Of course, the estimated beginning fund balance is an estimate, so that could change. But when he says, available.
Mike, are you talking about in the middle of the year, or are you talking about between now and
I'm talking about between now and the final tax rate adoption.
Well, there's about 600,000 in there that you
Yes.
can play with
Yes, I'm sorry, I didn't
and
understand.
still meet our fund balance.
That is
Okay,
correct.
thank you.
Well, the reason why Mike's bringing this up is we do have an executive session item that has to do with a couple of different issues, one being personnel. What we could do, I guess, to be safe is to go into executive session and discuss those items and understand the impacts, and then come back into the regular session and finalize this tax rate.
Perfect.
And actually, Judge, it's with regard
I can't
to
say it. I can't.
project. Excuse me.
Mike,
Yeah,
go ahead. I couldn't hear you.
it's with regard to pending or threatened litigation, and it would be under, and attorney advice, it would be under 551.071 of the government code.
Okay. All right. And you wouldn't include the one on personnel in that as well?
Well, it addresses, well, I guess it does address several personnel items. Of specific personnel, but yeah, I guess it could also be under personnel.
Yeah, that's 551.074. Okay, let's go into executive session under 551.071 pertaining to legal matters, and then impending litigation, and also section 551.074 under personnel matters. So
Judge, could I suggest we keep the auditor and human resources director in as well?
that's what I was fixing to say. So thank you. All right. So we'll do that right now.
Now, how are we? Okay, and it live stream and everything stops with this.
Mike, you'll get an invite to go into a breakout room.
Let IT do their magic.
And I know it's not the caffeine.
Okay,
Hang on there.
I'm ready.
We're still waiting. She's not, Marcy, you covering her right now?
Oh,
She's
well,
not back yet.
okay, we'll wait.
So when I said something about getting married early and you looked at me, I knew it.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Okay, let's go back into regular session. All right, back to agenda item D1. Actually, going to D1, you want to go to A or B? It'd be to vote on the proposed 2020 tax rate. So, Francis?
Okay. So going back to our summary sheet, like I said, the proposed budget is decisions you have made up to this point. This is going to show you what 1.3 cents less than the no new revenue rate would generate for the general fund. It's of course sufficient for the debt service fund as well as the permanent improvement fund. And then that would bring you to a fund balance, estimated fund balance of about 40 million, 33.5% of expenditures. There's a little bit of almost 600,000 there. If any decisions are made before we adopt, that's money that could be used to budget, or, you can always lower the rate before the end of August as well. Any thoughts on using that rate?
Okay, any discussion on the tax rate? And thank you. The proposed tax rate of 0.46879 for the 2020 tax year. This rate is comprised of 0.023827 for the interest and sinking, and 0.444892 for the maintenance and operations. The 0.444892 for maintenance and operations further broke down into 0.00281 for the permanent improvement fund and 0.442082 for the general fund. And I would make a motion that we adopt that. Is there a second?
Scott, I believe you misspoke.
One before the 9, right?
Yeah, it should be 468,719.
Yes, I apologize. Proposed tax rate is 0.468719. So I amend that motion to include that. Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Jones, second. Any other discussion? No other discussion, call for a vote.
Commissioner Snell,
Aye.
Commissioner Miller,
Aye.
Judge Dalton,
Aye.
Commissioner Jones,
Aye.
Commissioner Perry.
Aye.
Pass. There will be a public hearing on the budget on August the 25th of 2020 at 9 a.m. in McLennan County Commissioners Courtroom. The 2021 budget and the 2020 tax rate will be adopted on August the 25th, 2020. Anything else to come before the Commissioners Court today?
Are we going to have any discussion about possible special meeting?
We can. What's the, I haven't looked at my calendar, but I was looking at possibly tomorrow or Friday or Monday. it may take some time, you know, to get who you want there.
Sure.
So do you want a representative from the Public Health District as well as the Health Authority, which is Dr. Varner?
Yes.
All right. Who else? And then we would have public comment at the first of the meeting.
Friday works.
Okay. All right. Let me see what I can put together.
And Friday would work as well. I would also like to place on the agenda if a superintendent chose to speak, I would like for them to have more than 3 minutes.
Great idea.
Okay, we would, I think the best way then is to invite them, and it'll be part of the agenda. And, you know, hopefully there'd be like a representative of the other superintendents or
Correct.
something like
I
that.
agree with you.
Yeah. And of course, some of the superintendents were not going to open, their schools weren't going to open until September 7th or 8th. And then there's others that would prefer to stick to their original plan of having a mid-August opening. And so it might be, we'll just see who wants to speak.
Right.
Okay. Anything else? Yeah, I'm going to get to that. Okay, that's what we'll do then. All right,
You're gonna get
under,
back, Judge, you're gonna get me back as soon as possible. Let us know when that is gonna be.
yes, sir.
All right.
I wouldn't have it without you.
All right.
Okay, going to items under E, under additional items and discussion and potential action under E2 is authorization of publication of notice of public hearing for district clerk's preservation and digitization plan. Dustin, can you address this?
Yes, sir. This is just authorization for publication of a public hearing to be held on August the 18th, 2020 regarding the district clerk's document preservation and digitization.
Okay. Okay, is there a motion to approve the publication?
So moved.
Second.
Motion been made and second. Any other discussion? No other discussion, call for a vote.
Commissioner Snell,
Aye.
Commissioner Miller, Judge Dalton,
Aye.
Commissioner Jones,
Aye.
Commissioner Perry.
Aye.
Pass. Anything else to come before the court today? If not, we stand adjourned.